Good morning. Hope you all had a terrific weekend. It's time to go ahead and begin our third week here in the Mass Media Communications class. Just a couple of things, some newsworthy items, which if we were in class, if we were in the room, I always like to begin talking about some of the major news items that are happening when it comes to mass media. Number one, probably the biggest story in mass media right now has to do with the NFL and its ratings. The ratings have not been very good. The Thursday night game, which featured probably the best player in the NFL right now, the reigning MVP from the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, they were down almost 13% from last year's Thursday night game. Now, you can go ahead and argue which way you want. I'm not going to get into the whole political argument, although I think it's a little short-sighted by the NFL to go ahead and really establish himself with one way or another, because you don't want to alienate many of your viewers or your fan base. And that looks like what they might have done, especially because one of the things that, we're going to look at it more from the broadcasting side, the mass media side. The NFL gets their money. They sign their contracts like every 4 years. I remember I explained to you when I talked about how the Fox network became so huge thanks to its acquisition of NFL programming. And so it's like every 4 years. So they got their money. The NFL has their money from the networks, from NBC, ABC, ESPN, CBS, and so on. But what happens is for example, now NBC, which televised the Thursday night game, they go to their advertisers. Let's say it's to Ford Motor Company or to Budweiser Beer. And they're going to charge them about, let's say, $900,000 for a 30-second commercial. Because they're going to go and they're going to tell them, hey, this is going to be the most watched program so far this year. We got the Chiefs, we got Patrick Mahomes, so we're going to charge you $900,000. Now, I know that's more than the $750,000 you paid last year for a 30-second commercial for the Thursday night opening, but with Mahomes, we're expecting a big audience, and we're going to get about 25 million people watching, and then all of a sudden it comes up short. I think overall, when all the numbers came in, it's somewhere between 16 and 19 million, which is about 5 or 6 million short than what they were probably told their advertisers. So now you've got Ford, you've got Budweiser, or whatever other major advertisers. They're now coming up saying, wait, what's going on here? I paid $900,000 for a 30-second commercial, and you didn't deliver all the millions of people you said you were going to do. So now what NBC has to do in situations like that is they have to do what we call make-dos. And what a make-do is that they now have to kind of give them a commercial somewhere else. So, for example, I get this hair sticking out here. Hold on. If, say, it's NBC, they may now have to sell or give away a 30-second commercial to Ford during Chicago Fire, okay, or one of their other major programs, which is not something NBC wants to do because they can sell that. Chicago Fire, you could probably get $350,000 for a 30-second commercial in primetime, but now I'm giving it away because I didn't have enough audience, and so NBC loses a lot of money. Well, they're going to go to the NFL next time and say, hey, if you're not going to deliver the viewers, I'm not going to give you as much money in your next contract, which we'll see how that works. But, of course, the networks cannot be very happy with the ratings going down because, again, they can make less money if the ratings are down. That's what the networks really rely on because that's what they're telling their advertisers. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Just on a quick side note, for those of you who are into movies and you like, say, the actresses Kate Mara and her sister Rooney Mara, okay? The Giants play the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight. And these are two of the oldest and richest NFL franchises, sports franchises in the world. I think each is worth well over $2 billion. Rooney Mara, the actress. Do you know where she gets her name from? Some of you know, okay? But for those who don't, Rooney Mara, she got her name because her last name is Mara, and her family has long owned the New York Giants, so she's got a $2 billion fortune on that side. Her first name is Rooney, the family that has always owned the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is well over $2 billion on that side. So Rooney Mara is going to be watching a game tonight, not caring who wins or loses, because she could inherit about a couple of $1 billion once all the old people croak. But anyway, so just to give you an idea, and both of those franchises are worth billions of dollars, especially the Steelers, although they play in Pittsburgh, which is a small market. They are universally recognized as one of those teams that has fans all over the U.S. You can go to any major city, and there is Steeler Nation with those terrible towels that they've had for the last 45 years. So just thought I'd throw that out at you. Also, one of the bigger stories in mass media has to do with this whole controversy with Netflix. I really wish we were in class right now, because I would love to have a discussion with you guys about this. But the bottom line is that it looks like a lot of people are dropping their Netflix subscriptions. I'm not sure where this is going to go. I will say to Netflix, I saw the movie, and what I did is I was really rolling through it. I was looking for what were they told, what would be so controversial, and then all of a sudden I came up to that dance. I'm like, whoa, those are 11-year-old girls. That's a little crazy for 11-year-olds to be doing. And of course, there's been a whole thing, cancel Netflix is the hashtag that's going out there, or drop Netflix, or whatever it is that you want to do. Now, one of the figures I saw, which is unconfirmed, but somebody put out on Twitter that since this controversy started, that Netflix has lost about $9 billion. I don't know if that's true. I know Netflix is really started to, again, Netflix was, we talked about this first day of class, Netflix was dying. And then they really came back during COVID as people were dying, looking for something to watch, and would start binge watching a lot of these original programs on Netflix they didn't even know existed. I even found a movie my wife and I really liked. We didn't even know about it. And for those who might like it on Netflix, it's that movie with Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson, who play these old lawmen that go after Bonnie and Clyde. Great movie. I didn't know it existed until after COVID, and my wife and I were looking for something to watch. Once Hollywood in California shut down in the spring, and all the programs that are normally on TV, even on Netflix, you couldn't film. So there's all this stuff that's been there for a couple of years that Netflix has been making and nobody even knew existed. And they did very well. This all of a sudden is turning things around. And I'm really interested to see what eventually happens with Netflix. It may not hurt them. It could hurt them severely. Who knows? But we're going to play wait and see. But it's significant because, like I said, Netflix had really turned it around after COVID. I mean, Disney Plus and some of these other, and Hulu starting to do the things that they were doing really hit them hard. Amazon also with a lot of their original programming. I know they have that movie now with the dancer, Janelle something. Netflix was dying, and all of a sudden, boom, they turned it around during COVID, and now who knows what's going to happen here. Okay, what I wanted to talk about today, we're going to take newspapers. We're going to save newspapers for Thursday. I got a nice little lecture about newspapers, some of the history of newspapers, and some of the most intriguing moments in history that involve newspapers. But what I want to do today is go ahead and give out the research paper assignment. Okay. Now, as you can see from the attachment, all right, what it is you're going to watch a news line item, a front line, excuse me. And it's called, I went ahead and got this so we can put this up here. And it's called Generation Like. Okay. Now, it's a little older, but it's as modern, as recent as some of the research goes into young people and how we use, or how you use, like I'm a young person, okay, and how we use social media. So, what you are to do is to go ahead and follow the directions that are on the assignment sheet, And just to make sure you all see, your research paper is due on Wednesday night, November 4th at 8 p.m. So I wanted to go ahead. I had written this on your schedule that we would talk about it this week. I wanted to go ahead and get this out to you now. Maybe some of you will start researching and begin doing it now. And it's not due until November 4th. All right, guys. I will see you Thursday morning when we're going to talk about newspapers.